All right, so with this image here, let's take a look at what the patch tool can really do, what are some good things and what are some things it can't do, and we'll supplement that with maybe what the patch tool or what the clone stamp can do for us. So we're going to clear out the pieces of chalk, we're going to clear out this rock and this leaf, as well as these back items from the image. So first we're going to work on a new layer, make sure we sample all layers. I'm going to go ahead and just select that chalk. Right, click and drag over, and it does a really pretty good job of clearing that out. Let's go ahead and select this rock. Now, with this, you have to make sure you're kind of sampling to like areas. So for example, if I just move this over here, you can see it picked up that leaf that was there. I tried to do that. So let's move it over to this area. And you can see it does a much better job of really matching that up. So let's select around the leaf here. And I'm trying to get so I don't have any of these pieces of dirt kind of in the way, or I'm cutting them, because the patch tool will try to blend that color. So we're going to try to go around, and I'm just going to sample from somewhere over here. All right, look at how really good that did. So let's go to something a little bit more complicated back here, which is this little water bottle that's here. So I'm going to select kind of around this. I'm just going to drag this over to the left. I'm going to make sure I match up. Right, and then a pretty decent job of selecting that out. Now, what the patch tool is not going to do well is making these edits, right? So we're going to use this using the stamp tool so you can see how the patch and the stamp tools can work together. So in this case, because of this photo, it's really dark back here. So I'm going to use that to my advantage because it is dark. I'm going to use the polygonal lasso tool here and just make my selection here and here. Do a new layer, sample this color behind, and just fill it with black, or fill it with whatever that color is. Because we don't really have much information, so why force information that we don't have? Now here, we're going to use a combination of the stamp tool and then the patch to kind of clean up some of this stuff. So I'm going to do a new layer, but I'm going to make sure I'm always doing it kind of underneath this one. So I'm going to do new layer. We should probably call this chalk and rocks. And this one is shutter. And this one is going to be siding 1. So I'm going to use now the clone stamp, and I'm going to make sure I'm going to sample right here. And yeah, let's do that. So I'm going to actually sample from right here. Now I'm not going to be able to see it, but I'm going to line this up here like this. Right, and we'll click a couple times, and because it's underneath this kind of shed that's there, I'm not going to see it. And let's actually take that off so I can see what I'm doing. Let's kind of line this up here. Right, we'll do a couple clicks like that. Right, looking pretty good. Let's put that back on. That's good. So now what we're going to do is we're going to then do another new layer. And then we're going to work on this part that's here. So we'll do a new layer. I'm going to call this siding 2. Sample from over here. Go ahead and line up. Go ahead and line this up. And go ahead and just kind of stamp away. And you can see we're starting to get a good edit that's there, right? So just I'm just moving this down a little bit to make sure we get this nice edit. Nice and clean, working pretty good. So let's do another new one. We're going to call this siding 3. And I'm going to sample from the bottom here, line this up, and just kind of click away until we get a really good spot. I'm going to actually sample from the other side so we get some good variety happening. Okay, so now this is pretty good. Now the only edit we need to make is what's kind of down here. We want to get rid of that chalk bucket that's down there. So I'm going to do a brand new layer over top. And we're going to go ahead and get the patch tool. I'm going to make a selection. You know what? Let's make a selection right here of this. I'm going to drag it over to the left. Okay, it's pretty good. I got this little handle that's in there, which is okay, because now I'm going to make a selection of that. And I'm actually going to bring it over to this darker area that's here. And you can see it did a really pretty good job of things. There's some duplicates that are here, so we're just going to make some selections, drag those over. Right, we don't want that as a duplicate, so we'll drag that over. That didn't work. Right, so that's pretty good. As some edits, we took a lot of that stuff out that's there. If you really feel like, if we look back at the original, it's pretty good. If you feel like, you know, it's not necessarily the best that's here, we have some sort of gaps, we can select a whole area, you know, that's here, and let's select here, right, and then made a better edit that's there. So you could go and fine-tune some of this stuff. And so that's the basic edit. I mean, look at what we took out. That's a combination of using the patch and the clone stamp tool to make a really good edit to this photo.